YouTube, welcome back and welcome to Movement 101. Having good movement is honestly one of the biggest things that help me take my game to another level. It allows me to avoid more bullets, win more gunfights, and ultimately play faster than my opponents. Now, this is going to be a multi-part series starting with some basic stuff and getting into more advanced techniques. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any episodes. Now, the goal for today is 25 likes, so let's see if we can hit it and let's get into it. Okay, here's how this is going to work. I'm going to introduce the movement. I'm going to talk about why it's so important to do. I'm going to talk to you about how to do it. And then I'm actually going to show you some in-game examples of why it's so important to do. Now, first up, it's not the easiest to do, but I do think it's actually one of the most important, and that's slide canceling. So let's talk about why do we do it. Most people sprint like this. This is just your normal sprint, and you do want to be tack sprinting. So what's tack sprinting? Tack sprinting is when you're running with your gun up in the air. It's much quicker. Now, why do we slide cancel? Slide canceling resets that tactical sprint. So tactical sprint, it goes away. Now I'm going to slide cancel, and it's going to reset it. So how do we do it? Well, we do it by going slide, jump button, sprint. So we're going to start by sprinting. When it goes away, you're going to slide, jump. And it takes some practice to get used to. Slide, jump. Now, in order to reset your tack sprint, that's all you have to do. But you don't have to wait for your gun to go down. You can actually do it while your gun's up in the air. And if you don't get it, if it doesn't actually go, like there it didn't go, you can just keep doing it. It's once you change your button layout, which we're going to talk about at the end of this video, it's going to be much easier to do. It's just a matter of getting in the habit of doing it. So let's go into some in-game examples. Okay, so this first situation for slide canceling, I'm caught way out in the open, and my only chance to survive is to play fast. So you're going to notice me turn and immediately slide cancel to try to get behind this wheel. Now, if I don't play fast there and reset my tactical sprint, I most likely die. Situation number 2, I go ahead and kill this guy, but I'm getting pushed by another team. So I'm going to slide cancel into here. I'm going to keep slide canceling. And the thing I want you to pay attention to is if I just go ahead and sprint here and I'm just playing slow, my teammate's ultimately going to die here because you'll see he goes down in a second. Instead, I'm slide canceling. I'm playing fast. I'm resetting my tactical sprint. I'm able to ultimately get around to kill this guy before he goes and thirsts my teammate so that I can get the res. Next up is probably the easiest thing that we can do while shooting, and that's strafing while shooting or moving left and or right. Now, why do we do it? We do it because it makes it harder for our opponent to hit us. Hopefully, we're going to avoid more bullets doing this. Now, how do we do it? It's simple. When you're ADSing, you're just going to move your left stick left and or right. Now, you got to work on tracking because you're going to have to continue to track your opponent, but it's super simple. You can move left, you can move right, or you can do a little combination and move left and right. And ultimately, your goal is to be able to strafe and track the person as well. And your goal here is also to just avoid bullets. You know, if you're shooting like this, he has to track you while you're spinning, and he's standing in one spot. A lot of people tend to stand in one spot while we're doing this. We want to change that. So here's some examples. Here's some examples for strafing. I want you to notice how I move left and right while shooting. I'm actually going to show you some slow-mo here. So notice how far left I get in this video, and then I flick back right. And it ultimately allows me to avoid some of those bullets. Again, here, I'm strafing left. Look how far out I get just from strafing. And guys, this is why like the Raider stock is so important. This is what Raider stock on Cold War guns helps with, is that strafe speed. And this is a little bit of back and forth with the shimmy. So notice the back and forth right there. Left, right, left, and allows me to avoid just enough bullets to get that down, and then I ultimately get the kill. Okay, let's talk button layout. If you have a paddled controller like a Scuff or Battle Beaver, you should probably be running default or tactical and then just mapping your paddles to slide and jump. But if you're on a normal Xbox or PlayStation controller, I always recommend running bumper jumper tactical or bumper jumper tactical flipped. This is going to allow you to keep your right thumb on the right stick as long as possible and still allow you to jump without taking that right thumb away from that right stick. Remember, slide canceling is slide, jump. So ultimately, this is going to allow you to slide cancel and do things like drop shot or jump peak corners, which we'll get into later, without ever taking your thumb off the right stick, which is what you use to aim. So either bumper jumper tactical or bumper jumper tactical flipped. It's ultimately up to you. I think bumper jumper tactical flipped is a little bit easier and a little bit easier to get used to, but it's ultimately up to you in terms of what feels most comfortable for you. Now, one other change I would make at the bottom here is I would change your slide behavior from hold to tap. This simply means you just have to tap that right stick in. To slide, it makes it much easier to do. We can get into a lot of these different settings later, like use and reload behavior. These do help with movement a little bit, but for the most part, I would focus on slide behavior for right now and your bumper jumper tactical flipped. One other one actually that I do want to say is automatic tack sprint. This is usually disabled. Automatic tack sprint definitely takes some getting used to, but basically what it means is as soon as you move your left stick forward, you're going to be doing that tack sprint. So instead of having to click that left stick every time, it's super easy. You just point that left stick forward and it's going to try to go into tack sprint. As soon as that tack sprint goes away, you can of course slide cancel, keep that left stick forward. It makes it super easy. There's some weird mechanics with it in terms of ledges and stuff, but go ahead and give automatic tack sprint a try. I do think it's worth it in terms of getting better movement. That's it for episode 1. Make sure you hit that sub button for future episodes. Let's get better today and subscribe for more.